recording because I've got an interesting topic today. It's really one that I had been thinking about. Hey, Shelley, thanks for letting me know. Um, the topic came to me actually last Sunday, which is a little bit different than normal because, hey, Ann, normally I come up with a topic that is on the morning of the Facebook Live. But here's the topic. Are you a business time traveler or are you a business space traveler? Hi, Richard. Thanks for joining. This is a question that really reflects that I'm a little bit of a science, space nerd, quantum physics, when it comes to parallel universes and just, things that are a little bit outside the box. But this is a really important question for us as entrepreneurs, business owners, and sales professionals because in reality, here's the difference between being a space traveler or a time traveler. So right now, we are all on this Zoom or on this Facebook Live together, and we're sitting in a chair. Technically, all of us right now are time travelers. There's an old saying that time marches on, time waits for no one. And so in reality, we are all time travelers. Now, here's the challenge. If you're just a time traveler, if you're just sitting here allowing time to go by for whatever the reason, whether it be a challenge, whether it be maybe just an overwhelm, at that moment, we are not participating. So the space traveler is when you incorporate time travel and movement. That's when we get the biggest benefit out of what we are doing. And so, I don't want to downplay being a time traveler because being a time traveler is when we're able to maybe sit and be creative, look for the inspiration, look for the next thing that we're going to incorporate in our business, or maybe it's about marketing or about life, just taking a break, rejuvenating, sharpening the saw. So there's nothing wrong with that. But what happens when we get too much of a outside influence where it can be a negative influence, it can actually get us stuck. So what happens is that we are waiting for something else to happen to allow us to get back in the game. In reality, we are all moving through our solar system is moving at over 500,000 miles an hour. And so even in the universe, we are not static. We are time traveling through space, even if we don't realize it. But what is that going to do for us? And so here's a question. Do you want to be in front of the line when everything gets going again? Or do you want to be in the group, in the pack, looking to get in the line? It's really about participation and moving forward at a pace that we can actually serve those that we have a normal connection to, but also that how do we prepare ourselves to get through this stage of life or in this situation or whatever challenge. And so I got 3 action steps for you today. Number 1, ask the question, how can I serve more? What is it that I can do to actually give a bigger, better value than even I was able to do before whatever the situation is? This is one of those areas that we kind of discount because it may not directly, it may not directly have any kind of compensation, revenue generation to it. But it is about connection. It's about building relationships. But here's the second step is don't be afraid to ask for compensation for people to invest in your great products and services. One of the things that I have said is, hey, Gerline, what I have said is before any challenge, and particularly the challenge where we're facing right now on a global side, is that if you had a product or service that was valuable before this, it's even more valuable now. And so don't be afraid to have that compensation because in reality for our economy, if we are stimulating compensation that we can then pass on to others, then we are actually helping the overall situation as well. In fact, we actually have a cleaning service for our dry cleaning, and the woman has been our dry cleaner for years, and I saw her today, and she thanked me for continuing to use the service so she could keep her employees going during this time as well. And so we don't realize the domino effect that when we serve more and then we also continue to ask to be compensated in the rewards for the delivery of the product or service that we have, we're actually helping the connection and the healing, if you will, of the economy. And so my third thing, the action step, is my encouragement to you is to be not only a time traveler, but also to be a space traveler that incorporates the time. Because, I've talked about life is a solo journey traveled with many. And it is not the end destination, but the journey that has the value. And if we go onto the sideline, if we go onto this pause button that many people have really looked at as their only option, then we lose the momentum. And the momentum is something that is in any business, in any endeavor. That's the struggle that to get going again and where we can get really discouraged. And if you remember, my definition of momentum does not necessarily mean speed, it means movement. So how can we not only move ourselves, but how can we help those who are around us, those that we have been supporting before? Let's support them again. Let's find out how we can be of a better service, how we can have more influence. I was asked on a show the other day, what is the number one thing I want as a business owner during this time? And my answer is to be a influencer, to have the ability to influence and to encourage and to be able to impact lives that probably I will never have the opportunity at any time to meet. But because we are really a global society, because like Gurleen is here today, she's in India. We have people in North Carolina, and Ludington is here. We have, so we have people around the country that are watching this. And so let's look at ways on how we can support, how we can develop maybe even new connections that when we come out of this, we're going to catapult ourselves at a much higher rate and just have a bigger impact. So, thank you guys so much for stopping by and being part of the Facebook Lives that I've been doing. If there is a topic that you would like me to cover, please let me know, and I'd be happy to do that. And, if you'd like to, just put in the comments below, what are the things that you're doing that will help benefit and serve more? And then also, it's not wrong, put an ask. What is it that you would like? What kind of support would you ask for within the group? And when you do that, let's communicate with each other throughout the group. So yes, this is my Facebook Live, but when you see someone else post, go ahead and communicate with them as well. So with that, guys, I'll see you again on my live Facebook next Thursday. I am continuing the series of the Facebook Give Back, and so be watching for those. If you're not a part of my YouTube followers, would you please go and subscribe to that so you can see as soon as I put up a new video. I believe there's over 250 videos up there now. But it's becoming quite an extensive library. But I'd appreciate your follow on that. So with that, have a wonderful day, have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.